Hello, my loves. This is Heidi Raquel with your weekly Oracle reading for December 28 to Jan 3. Holy shit. Here we are. We have arrived at the end of the year of this very tumultuous, painful, challenging, exquisite, beautiful year. And, for me, I have felt so tender really since the day after Christmas. So tender, and almost to the point where I'm struggling even now coming back and dipping in here, because there is a tenderness of vulnerability circling around the heart. And it's like we have the energy that I started feeling on Saturday, Sunday was like this giant inhale that was coming back like a bow that was being pulled back, and as one of my teachers would say, it's like the expansion before the contraction. It's the pulling back before the arrow releases out, right? And it was so much and so overwhelming that for me, I had to just full on cut off any outside energy, which is why I'm doing this today, Wednesday, instead of Monday, as I usually do these. And I really had to give myself permission to just let it all fall apart. As a friend of mine says, let all the bits dangle. Because it's just too much. It's like completely overwhelming. And yesterday, Tuesday, the 29th, full moon went into Cancer. The moon is at home in Cancer. So there's this collective energy of like we've been physically home a lot this year, but there's a way that we've been wandering and traversing in different ways than we have ever, before this year. And right now, this full moon and the energy that are present here, and of course Cancer is in the water sign and it's absolutely pouring here today. It's beautiful synchronicity. But it's like right here, this final full moon, right before we traverse over into the next year, is calling us all back home. It's the energy of bergamot. It's the energy of, okay, everything that has been gone out scattered is coming back home so that we can integrate, reassess, process in this next month going forward. And I'll talk about that more in the January soul message. But it's really a time of review, integration, and it's going to move into January. But right now it's like everyone is being called to close their eyes, come to their breath, come down into a rooted sense of self, finding themselves anchored and rooted in the belly, feeling the tender bits, the moving around the heart. And I have had to do that for myself. I had to just completely unplug. And it also was pushing on me to listen to another piece that's coming through right now. And that is the wisdom of the earth. I've been talking about this a lot this year. This energy of the wisdom coming up out of the earth. And it's like, we can't escape it anymore. And the wisdom for me was, hey, honey, you got to remember, Mother Earth is in charge of timing. You are not in charge of timing. So you might have an idea that you are going to do, your weekly Oracle message on Monday. But instead of that, today you're going to get taken down to the studs. And all the tears and all the sobbing and all the grief and everything that is both, coming in this year, that is also pushing out the old. And it's tender. There's a lot of bits in here, for us physically, energetically, spiritually, mentally, that we have been hanging on to. And, if there's anything that's come through this year, it's like, shit's different than that. It's about coming into union, into right relationship with the earth. It's like, getting our egos just totally pummeled. Like, you don't get to do it the way that you think you're going to do it. last week. I've got so much to share, so much to share. Just partnered with doTERRA. I'm so excited about starting to educate people about the different oils. And I was going to go do that last week. And I heard a hard no, like, no, it is not time. And also being called to, in a different video, share my story with it and why I came to it and why I'm even including it in my practice and all of that before I even start teaching. Even this ring I want to share about. It's just so beautiful. I'll share about it in a different post, but it's a white wolf with Baltic amber there. And my friend Melina made it, and I wanted to buy it anyway. And then my husband swooped in and got it for me for Christmas. And I've wanted to do a post about that and the evolution of it and how connected it is for this whole year for me. And I'm still hearing it's not time. So there really is this sense of timing that's coming in that's like, no, you don't get to do it on your timing. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh, there's this bit about coming into the cave. I'm just feeling it today. It's really interesting. My husband is at home working today, so he is in the physical space that I usually do my readings in. And I think it's interesting and synchronistic that I would do it here. This is the attic of my home where I do all of my healing work. And it's kind of like the womb or the cave of our home. There's only one window, the one I'm sitting in front of, and it's all argyle. Red root, the color of the root chakra. Many times we have thought about painting it or changing it or, whatever. And every time we're like, no, at least not yet. It's not time. So there's this way that we're coming into the cave and coming into that sense of hibernation that is so natural and organic for the winter. And speaking of that, I want to address this one piece, because as I was feeling this for Monday and Tuesday, and I was like, gosh, there's a part of me like this racehorse that wants to come forward and do my regular schedule. And so there's a way that we're being called into like letting everything fall apart, letting yourself be completely broken open, just letting everything fall apart. Giving yourself a moment, a pause between this year and next year as we move in, to let yourself not have it together. Let go of the perfectionism. That's part of why I think my guides were leaning me in to not doing my message on Monday. It's like I had to embrace my own inadequacy, or I had to embrace my own humility or vulnerability and be in the cave of myself. And, as I do these readings, I'm always, I'm channeling and sharing energy and information that's coming through for the collective, but I also have to live through that energy. So this time in particular, it took me down first before I could gather myself. And, and I'm even still tender today. I was tuning in with my guides right before this and saying, wow, am I supposed to wait until tomorrow? And I heard a no, I'm supposed to do it today. So that people tomorrow, when they have, New Year's Day or New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, they have time to sit with this and receive the message and process it and let it flow and move through them. And then of course the energy of breath is like really here right now. This whole year has been like our entire internal structural home has been given an upgrade. The furniture has been moved, stuff has gone to Goodwill, all of this. And we have more of that sorting, organizing, cleaning. I'll talk about that more in January coming through, but wow. Just really, really tender. And so I'll just recap the cards that we have for this month. We started with the mentor and the creator, right? I have them out sitting here in front of me. Then we had the kiss, this electric energy of intimacy, of finding your people, of coming into union, maybe with new people, maybe letting go of people that don't resonate anymore. And then last week we had the maiden. And so this week it's like the tender energy, and I'll show the maiden card again, because you have this beautiful sense of like even the vagina, like birthing, new life. So perfect as we move into this next year. But this week is like the tenderness, and the women that have given birth know what I'm talking about, or if you haven't, the tenderness that is present in your body after surgery. It's that tender nursing, that needing to really care deeply for your cells. And it's like when you do have surgery, or you give birth, you don't get to be in charge of how quickly or slowly you recover. And you don't get to go back to work sooner than later. But I'm realizing I lost the thread that I was going to say a bit ago about the winter and going into the cave. There is a specific, sweet, exquisite kind of hell that happens at this time of the year, specifically in my experience around the corporate life and this time of year. And what I mean by that is I've experienced this for years and years. Everything in nature is telling us to go inward, to get quiet, to have restorative, gentle energy at this time of the year. It's like we're just crossing over into winter, and we're crossing over into the cave for hibernation for the winter. If we do not do that, when spring comes, we do not have the energy that we need to move forward. And to realize those dreams that we dreamt during the winter. But in the corporate world, it's like they love to ignore that and just push forward. I remember when I was in the corporate world, it's like that was the busiest time of year almost for me, because I was doing all of the end of the year stuff and prepping for the next year. And every time we would be in these planning meetings for the following year, it like chafed against every single thing in me that was natural, because I was like, this is absolutely not what we're supposed to be doing right now. It's like you don't do that until February. January is a time of, reintegration and kind of categorizing and letting go, assessing what happened for the year. And then you can start putting those things in place. But, if you're in the corporate world and you can't get away from that, like, blessings to you. I did it for so many years and it's just awful. But I can say, like, take some time for yourself. I absolutely abhor that energy of, as we cross over into January, this whole like New Year's resolution thing, and like it's going to be better, and we're going to be better, and we're going to be different, and we're going to do it so much differently, and we're going to get it organized and planned, and da-da-da-da-da, and we're going to go out of the gate, screaming. And it's like, that is the exact opposite energy that is actually present in January. So I just honor that. I offer that as a gift, because so people can hopefully give yourself the time that you can, like when you're not working. Now that I work for myself, it's, it still shows up a little bit in like the expectation realm, but we're dumping all that crap off. So give yourself permission to, sleep in, wear your pajamas all day, work from home, all of it. Oh, well, there's your card, because it just flew right on out. The offering. Okay, look, there's got this beautiful moon and the offering, and it's like, my interpretation of this right off is like, offering the last year. Let it go. You don't need it. Let the new come in, but you can't let the new come in if you don't offer and let the tears flow and let what's ready to leave. All right, let's see here. The offering, and this is in the tools section, so I'm always using the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck here. Kim Kranz, I love. I have all of her decks, and I have many other decks, but this one has been calling for the whole part of the year here. All right, let me find it. Okay, the offering, the gift, the present, the sacrifice. Oh, this is so unbelievably perfect for this last year, or this last week of the year. Unlike many of the other cards in the deck, the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. As you may have guessed, it is time for something to be given and given up for the sake of the bigger picture. If nothing comes to mind immediately, though it's likely it will, take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognize the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other. When we offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. For now, start small. Win light, generosity, donation, volunteering. Win dark, giving with expectations and keeping track. To go deeper, Odin's sacrifice of his eye in Norse mythology. Once a week, Gandhi gave up speaking for a day, offering himself to divine silence. The offering can come in all shapes and sizes. If there is a gift you've been thinking of giving someone special, now is the time. It's beautiful. I just did a gift exchange with a friend yesterday. So I kind of had a feeling this message was going to go over the 15-minute limit for IGTV. So this will have to go to YouTube. But I felt really called to let all of the dangly bits and the tenderness and the vulnerability of myself be present here. I think it's even, absolutely perfect again that I'm broadcasting this from the womb of my home, because it's where I come to do all my healing work, and it's where I do all my healing work with clients. And it's the tender spot of the home, which everyone should have. I hope everyone does have that, something to consider cultivating in your home for next year if you don't. So be gentle with yourself. Take some time out for some, salt baths. We're really coming into part of the reason why I was wanting to bring doTERRA into my practice is because we're really coming in into that sense. I just lost the word. Not alchemical, but and not archetypal. It'll come to me. Apothecary energy has been here all year long, and I kept feeling it. And for 3 years, I kept hearing about oils and being guided to share them in my practice, and I didn't have a source for them. So I'll talk about that more in another video, but we really need that. We need that wisdom from the earth incorporated into our body, especially as we move into this next year. I do not think it will be an easy year, but I do think that it will be beautiful, but we need all of our tools on board. So I'll talk about that more in the January message, which will probably be released. If I can get it done before Friday to release it on the 1st, I will do so, but my plan is to release it on Monday the 4th. So I wish you blessings. Be gentle with yourself as we close out this year. Take the time to review. Take the time to write, to meditate, to really get in touch with that offering. Really get in touch with what is that thing that you need to let go of to make space for the new. You do not want to start next year with a cluttered garage. There will be some clearing and cleaning energy coming for January, but it's more like cleaning off the desk. It's not quite as much as like the deep stuff, although that could come as well. And getting down to those nitty-gritty bits. So again, be gentle with yourself and this Cancer full moon energy. All right, namaste.